Hello and welcome to the Music Smoothie.
Welcome back to another lovely episode of the Music Smoothie, or it would normally be lovely, but this time it's filled with blood and gore and pus, and they're coming to get you, Barbara, because this is our super special Halloween episode of the Music Smoothie. And tonight we've got a very special lineup. We've got myself, Laz, and we've got Princeton Vice.
Hello?
We've got Billy. Billy's dead. Or should I say he's undead?
Yeah. Wasn't that spooky? Did I scare you by coming in seconds after you announced me?
The jump scare moment there. Yeah.
I got you guys.
And Fishy.
Hello.
All right, and I guess first up tonight, it's going to be me, and as usual, I'm woefully unprepared. So let me go back and see what I'm playing.
Meantime, we'll pull on one of those spooky soundtracks in the background, like the Haunted Mansion with, chains rattling and thunder crashes.
or I could just edit all this out, but yeah, that works too. As a quick aside from Future Laz, that sound that Princeton just made is the most horrifying thing in this episode, so no further effects are needed. Thank you for that very spooky contribution, Princeton Vice. And remember, Christian fundamentalists, this Halloween season, Satan loves you.
Are you ready, Laz?
Yeah, I've got a song for you. This one is Lost by Horror Vacui.
That's why it took so long to find it?
Yeah, I lost it.
He confused it for the TV show for a second.
Now I'm about to lose it in a different way. Woo, spooky. All right, here's the song.
Darkness of the night.
All right, that was Lost by modern darkwave band Horror Vacui. And
ostensibly named after the philosophical concept that vacuums cannot fully exist in space.
and how did that make you feel, Fishy?
It was pretty cool. It reminded me sort of Joy Division with the bass, and the singer sort of reminded me of Ian Curtis at points, but I don't have too much commentary beyond that. It was all right, but it just kind of sounded like hardish rock metal to me.
Okay, fair. Joy Division vibes from you. Princeton, what'd you think?
I really liked it. I'm pretty ignorant of darkwave, but I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm assuming this is a typical song for this band. It's not an outlier that's more 80s than the rest, right?
Honestly, I have not listened to a lot of this band. I stumbled upon this artist just a couple weeks ago, honestly, and I really enjoyed this track and haven't had a chance to explore much of their other stuff yet. So
Great. Well, I'm gonna check it out myself. I've already added it to my list. Yeah, I'm got notes of like you said, Joy Division, but also remind me a little bit of Synchronicity, early Police. It felt like maybe a little bit of Bauhaus trying to do a mainstream hit for the radio, with dashes of Him. But no, I really like that. The one thing that I felt was very interesting to me was the tempo changed around a lot. Not like a let's have a break it down section. It kind of just varied a little bit here and there. And that would be something that would either, upon re-listening, be something that I find really, really enjoyable or just kind of drive me nuts later on. I often joke that one of my favorite reggae recording is a cover of The Tide is High. And it sounds like the bassist in the background knows that the studio is going to run out of their time session in 30 seconds. And the tempo just gets slightly faster and faster until everyone else has to catch up. But no, overall, I really enjoyed it. So thanks for sharing that.
yeah, of course. And finally, Billy.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I liked I thought all the instruments and all those sounds that are like indicative of that time period that Princeton was talking about. Hearing those sounds like synchronicity and everything it matched with that darker voice. It's just a really fun like groovy time. I wish the voice was a little stronger. I feel like this was supposed to, I feel like it's meant to feel that way with the echoes and the low production and them, sounding a little further away, but I did want more from the voice and from that performance. It felt like it was just lacking a little bit for me, but I feel like also at the same time that was the intent of what they were going for. So, I can't be too nitpicky about that kind of thing at the end of the day. All in all, pretty good track.
Yeah, and I mean that is like sort of reminiscent of absolutely like Joy Division, like Fishy was saying. So that's
Yeah.
sort of what they did. So yeah, okay. Next up we have Fishy.
All right. I'm going to play Isolated by I believe it's pronounced Chiasm first. I learned of this song in a game called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's basically the theme for one of the central hubs in the game, and I've listened to it several times in isolation getting ready for this one, and I think that even without the mental image of a bunch of vampires and shit dancing around, I think that it still holds up as a spooky Halloween song. And let's see, I know I copied it somewhere to where I could get it to play right this time. All right.
Does it send shivers down your spine?
It fucks my spine up. Mostly because I imagine trying to dance to it. Alright, here we go. right. That was Isolated by Chiasm, I believe. It's featured pretty prominently again in the game Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines. Pretty old, but it is cool to see a bunch of vampires and ghouls try to dance to this in early 2000s graphics. Let's start with Laz. What did you think?
Yeah, it is chiasm. I looked it up. Yeah, I really like this track, and I could definitely see this being featured prominently in a video game. It definitely has that kind of frenetic energy to it. But yeah, it's I initially pegged it as like a trip hop song, and I feel like that's accurate. Although she refers to her own music as industrial influenced electronic. So either way, I had a great time during this. I structured pretty well, although I did start to like maybe lose a little bit of interest towards the end because I felt like maybe it dragged a little bit too long. But other than that, I really liked it. I thought it maintained a great energy throughout.
Yeah, that's fair. It can go on a little long, I agree with that. But also, to the point about it being good video game music, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure a lot of her early discography found its way into various video games. So I think you can find her in several games if you look. Let's go with Princeton next.
Sure. So I enjoyed it. It definitely feels like a love letter to Trent Reznor. In that early Nine Inch Nails kind of style. I really feel like there's a really good core of a song in there. If you were to do it as something main, do a cover of it, for example, or a remix, it might be good to add some different levels in there. We always joke of Skrillex having the exact same build up and dropping the bass, but there's a reason he does that is because it does have kind of a climactic rise and fall throughout the song. Of course, it's background music. It's not supposed to have a rise and a fall. It's supposed to kind of feel continuous. It's supposed to set the mood. It's supposed to set the tone. And I'd say it's not supposed to steal the focus. And I'd say it succeeds 100% at that. So awesome job. Would I perform at a karaoke? Probably not. But I would totally put this on a vampire party track or, music when I'm to listen to in the background while I'm writing. That'd be fantastic. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think it is primarily, like you said, dance music, background music. So yeah, I totally get that assessment. Billy, last but not least, what did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought that it had a good ambiance with that like kind of spooky background, the kind of ooze. I there was that electronic kind of thumping that went along with everything, and it was very groovy and easy to ride with. I liked her voice a lot, and I just thought this was overall really good, fun track to listen to. It really, I think it you did a good job at pegging something that felt very much like Halloweeny. Not that Princeton didn't do a good job too, but I really liked this track, especially. I think Laz hit a good point of that. It does does go a little too far, but like you said, it's meant to be in the background. I think they could have just mixed it up a little bit if they were gonna go with that length, and mixed up just like the industrial thumping, or mixed up the ambiance of the background, or just a little bit to keep it interesting for those final 2 minutes. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like pretty great track.
Yeah, for sure. One of the reasons I think it got picked for like the hub area music is because it can play on repeat and fold back into itself without it even being very noticeable because it's so, repetitious. So yeah, that's definitely a fair criticism for it. and that was Isolated by Chiasm. I believe Billy's next.
Right. Well, I've got a interesting track for you guys. This is the band is called Evangelicals. They're an indie rock band from Oklahoma. You know, I'm mixing it up a little bit this time with bringing you some more indie rock. Um, the, should
Quite
I make
the
that?
upset.
Should I make that joke every time I bring it? Because it feels like I make it every time. Every time I bring a song, I have to make the same joke. So I'm sorry. They've released two albums alone. They don't have that much of a following at this moment, but they are a very energetic, enthusiastic band. Their sounds are a little on the weirder side. I'll let you guys. This song in itself definitely is. You'll get some of that character, but it is like a good listen by itself because it's a little easier on the ears. But some of their other tracks can definitely be a little bit more abrasive. They did have a Halloween song, but it's just not catchy enough. Whereas this one, I really, this track is just it's just a fun, good good track. I will, without further ado, bring it to you guys. I should have typed it up.
That's what I did last time. I was just like, I just typed it while I was talking.
Can't do two things at once. Oh, big Shyamalan twist. It was a sad boy song all along. That was Skeleton Man by Evangelicals. What did you think, Princeton?
I really liked it. If I had described it to somebody, without playing the track, I would say, imagine you assigned the Shins to make a style parody cover of Nowhere Man. So it's kind of got that same slightly episodic, vague imagery of somebody, but it feels very Shinsy-ish. If this band has not been played on Welcome to Night Vale, I'll be very surprised. The most interesting thing that struck me, that kind of knocked me out of my just sitting here bopping, is about halfway through, it has this kind of roar sound. And it could have been people actually yelling or screaming, but I think it was mostly white noise, for the best I can tell. And considering this is an age where people often do very literal things, like TV shows will constantly have the tinnitus sound when you want the ringing sound of somebody being deafened, or actual roar sounds. It was interesting to have such an abstract sound, which seems slightly terrifying in the middle for what seemingly no reason. So it's an interesting X factor I hadn't considered. You normally lead with that or end with that, but they put it in the middle for no reason. But so I'm going to re-listen to this one. It's interesting.
That's a good point. I actually never even realized that sound that comes in, that is white noise. That's a very good point, and I definitely, it is kind of really out there that it like comes in the middle, but I just love that feeling of the roar just starts ensuing and then grows, and then out of nowhere it just reaches this climax, and then everything becomes so clear after that. I like the progression of this song immensely. What do you think, Fishy?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked how discordant it sounded. Like every part sounded very distinct, and yet somehow it flowed into the next part and from the last part very well. And I also liked how it seemed to be trying to implement like horror stings, except super sped up as opposed to how you normally hear them in movies or something, and against a lot of background music instead of, the typical horror sting where it's silence and then boom. It was kind of neat hearing those little escalations in the middle of a bunch of noise already. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it. It was a good Halloween song. Felt kind of spooky.
Awesome. Laz, what'd you think?
Well, for a sad boy song, it was very upbeat and energetic. I really liked how it kept building. Like normally, I feel like a lot of indie rock, it sort of like hits its stride and then stays there by the the first chorus, or the second verse, and it just sort of like maintains that level or tapers off over time. But I felt like this kept building until the end, and it almost like crescendoed, and I really appreciate that about this. And yeah, like it's sort of, it's got like an infectious energy to it, and I really liked it, and I liked the screaming vocals, and the overall spookiness of it, and the noise level. It just all came together, and it was a pretty good track.
Awesome. Yeah. Nice. I definitely agree with your points.
All right, and we're gonna have Dave closing off round one.
Also known as Princeton, just for people who.
Oh shit! Sorry, my bad.
No worries. I go by both, but just for people who are like, "Who's Dave? Is there a surprise guest?" Oh no, it's just Dave. It's just Princeton. Okay. This one's gonna start with a little bit of a long thing. As I claim to be the self-proclaimed resident expert on gothabilly here, I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is and actually share a gothabilly song on the podcast. And I know that many of the other other hosts here probably know a lot about it, and so do our listeners, and probably know more than me, but I thought I'd give a quick summary of the subgenre in case people don't know it. Best way to explain it, I think, is probably to start at the beginning. You have early rock and roll, started with rhythm and blues artists like Sister Rosetta Tharpe, B.B. King, Little Richard, which was then co-opted by white musicians like Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Buddy Holly. At the beginning, that is collectively what's called rockabilly. This would later split into kind of country music and early 60s rock, like the Beatles and stuff. But rockabilly was kind of the missing ancestor link of both of them, really. All right, next. Fast forward to about the mid-70s, you have the punk movement, which kind of returned to the bare bones roots of early rock and rockabilly. But this time with a lot of anger and a lot of anti-establishment themes. Well, it's no surprise that a lot of these edgy punk bands are also fans of horror genre, which is a really edgy genre. You ended up with a lot of gruesome songs inspired by horror characters and themes. The Meteors, for example, had their song in '84, Michael Myers. This became its own subgenre with groups like the Cramps, and was generally given by musicians and critics and stuff like that the term psychobilly. Well, fast forward one more time to the 90s, we got rockabilly, and swing kind of has a revival. And so does surfer rock. And what do people commonly associate with surfer rock? Well, campy B-movie horror flicks. And so this retro aesthetic of pinup girls and hot rods and camp kind of gets fused with 90s goth and punk culture. And you end up with something that's people generally call gothabilly today. I think, as Laz mentioned earlier to me before we started, the Cramps actually called themselves gothabilly, but nowadays gothabilly is kind of slightly more gothish, if that makes sense. A little bit more laid back. So to sum up, gothabilly and psychobilly are kind of two ends of the same genre spectrum. It's just psychobilly took an angular detour, or alternatively, you could say gothabilly is psychobilly that went back to the well a second time, proverbially speaking. Make sense? I hope you're taking notes. There's going to be a quiz. Everyone take out your number 2 pencils.
What about Elvis?
What? Oh, Elvis. He was rockabilly, really.
No.
Yeah.
He was goth?
Only in his Velvet stage.
You see, picture Elvis wearing guy liner.
Yeah, I could totally do that. How do you know he didn't?
I don't.
Yeah. Put enough product in his hair. I mean,
well, I feel like when the Cramps coined the term gothabilly and referred to themselves as gothabilly, it was more of an aesthetic thing at that point. Mm-hmm. Like it was like they were playing really psychobilly, but but with like a lot of goth imagery, really.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I think another term they coined for themselves was voodoo rock, which was also the name of one or two of their songs. So,
yeah.
Another big influence on that is Screamin' Jay Hawkins. I'll Put a Spell on You, which is 10 times better than the version in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So the song I picked right here is going to be. I thought the best way of showing this would be to show a cover song that most of our listeners have probably heard. Because one of the best ways to demonstrate a musical style is to compare and contrast something you know with a brand new twist. This is a band called the Hormonauts, an Italian group with a Scottish frontman, active from 99 to 2010. And this is a cover of My Sharona by the Knacks.
Sometimes Sharona, you make my motor run, girl, it's coming out of the line. Sharona, never gonna stop, get it up, such a dirty mind, I always get up for the touch of the younger kind. My Sharona, my Sharona. Come a little closer, will ya? Close enough to look in my eyes. Sharona, keep a little mystery gets to me, running down the length of my thighs. Sharona, never gonna stop, get it up, such a dirty mind, I was getting up for the touch of the younger kind. My Sharona, so when you gonna give it to me, is it just a matter of time? Sharona, is it the destiny, or is it just a game in my mind? Sharona, never gonna stop, give it up, such a dirty mind, I was getting up for the touch of a younger kind. Never gonna stop, give it up, such a dirty mind, I was getting up for the touch of a younger kind. My Sharona, my Sharona, my.
All right, that was My Sharona by the Hormonauts. Let's start with Laz when he's ready. Did you have any thoughts?
Funny thing about Screamin' Jay Hawkins, he hated being called Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
This is true.
No, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, like I remember I read somewhere he said that they don't call James Brown Screamin' James Brown.
This is true.
But anyway, yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of GS is really fond of the Chipmunks slowed down pop songs, and like this felt like a slowed down version of My Sharona.
Right,
but
that's right.
But it worked, you know. I'm not upset about it. I liked the prominent horn section, and yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about it, but yeah.
Cool, thank you. So let's go with Billy next when you're ready.
Yeah, I thought this was a very interesting take on the song in general. I thought that his voice was pretty much perfect for it. You could tell that like he could be doing a regular cover of the song, but I like that he invented it into his own take on it. Very interesting take on it as well. And not much else I can really say about it, to be honest. But
No, that's fair. I've heard the singer on other tracks, and his voice is absolutely beautiful on both weird, creepy stuff and actual just straight up crooning stuff. My personal love is that he did it in kind of an Elvis style, if you ask me. So he took the the stutter from the actual song, and it sounds like an Elvis stutter when he put it in the right context. Fishy, I think you are last on the chopping block. What do you think?
I think it's really neat that we finally have a creepy version of a song about fetishizing underage girls. But
That too. The first song is pretty creepy, and this just double downs on it.
yeah, but no, I mean, it was all right. I could see it being played in, not one of those horror houses that promises to give you a heart attack or your money back, but one of the county fair ones that are goofy and fun. And with your explanation preceding it, it did kind of help me conceptualize the genre of gothabilly. I am so bad at genres. So yeah, it was pretty all right.
Oh. No, I'm glad you liked. And besides, labels are just, just for quick categorizing. If you label me, you negate me, as the old adage goes. Mm-hmm. So, but no, I'm glad people liked it. All right, so I think we're back to the top, right?
Yep. This was a hard track that you can listen to with your mom. With Jesus Christ.
Yeah, suppose you could.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of horror tracks with your mom.
I love to get hard while listening to music with my mom.
And Jesus Christ.
You doing okay, Billy?
On a personal note, I'm getting sleep tonight, so.
Well, who cares about that? How's RuneScape going?
It's helping me focus.
RuneScape, the alternative to sleep.
You can't level up sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm close to 99 defense, guys. I'm only halfway there.
Well, if you're not a level 99 in fishing, go home.
All right, so who's the top of the rotation again?
Next, it's me. It's your boy. And it's my turn for indie rock. So buckle up, buttercups. I have a song for you.
Were we supposed to bring seatbelts?
Yeah.
God's my seatbelt.
But we also established you're God, right?
No.
Jesus is my co-pilot, but only if he's providing gas, grass, or ass.
It's a love affair between Jesus and my hot rod.
All right, this next song is Right on Frankenstein from Death Above 1979. Okay. Are you ready?
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right. I will proceed then with caution.
Ready to rap!
I've been sorry lately. I got nothing to say.
right. That was Right on Frankenstein by Death from Above 1979 off of their 2014 album, The Physical World. And how physical is your world, Billy?
I think my physical world just got rocked, and I came. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed that track. I think you knew I would really enjoy that track too. The only criticism that I could really think of is that I wish it didn't end when it ended. I wanted it to just keep on going, but songs can't last forever, unfortunately. It was just it had that energy that I'd be looking for. I really liked that bridge that you're talking about. It just was a good way to kind of fuse the song together and end it. That ending was a pretty good climactic way to end it if you are going to end a song, unfortunately. Um and it just was it was a pretty memorable track, I would say, for me personally.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, yeah, nothing gold can stay except you. Stay gold, Pony Boy.
Wish Pony Boy fucking died.
It was set in the 50s, so yeah, he certainly died of lung cancer at some point. Okay, Princeton, what'd you think?
Well, the first thing I saw is that it took me a moment to realize that 1979 is part of the band name and not the year of the song. And so I saw Frankenstein 1979, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't Edgar Winter Group. Anyway,
I think that's a little too popular for our show.
I perhaps some people have heard of it. Maybe a little too mainstream. It's a shame. My next song is gonna be something you probably never heard of. It's called Thriller by Michael. I think it's pronounced Yaxon.
Oh, was Vincent Price on that song? Did he rap? That sounds embarrassing.
Yes, with the Vincent Price rap. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But no, I really like this. Not much to add. What hit me is interesting is like Laz mentioned in the chat here. Oh yeah, great bridge. And I was like, yeah, I agree, it's a great bridge. And then they sang over it, so it actually became less of a bridge and more of a second half of the song. And I actually wasn't expecting that. And the two parts just kind of merged together really well. I would definitely recommend this for fans of Muse. It reminded me a little bit of their style. So if someone likes Muse, I would definitely lead them in this direction.
All right, fair point. And Fishy to wrap it up.
Well, that was the first Halloween song of tonight that I feel kind of represents the smashing the shit out of mailbox side of Halloween as opposed to the spooky side. Not exactly up my alley, but it was, if I wanted to go around causing trouble instead of getting candy, I could imagine listening to this. The lyrics, about wanting not to die but to be buried, that goes pretty fucking hard. I wouldn't want to be buried alive, but this guy seems into it, so I guess that's kind of spooky.
At least not in the pet cemetery.
Want to stay down when they bury me. But yeah, it was alright. I mean, definitely not my type of thing, but I could get up to some mischief if somebody was blasting this on Halloween.
My next track is definitely going to be something you could beat your mailbox to.
Oh, good.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, Fishy goes first, sorry.
Oh, shit, you're right. Yeah, Fishy, sorry, go ahead.
All right. Let me flip that.
Is
Okay.
beat your mailbox a euphemism?
No, not in this instance.
I have never once referred to my ex-wife as a mailbox.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
And all the letters came out.
just bills, bills, bills with you. Okay.
You stupid motherfucker. Still talking about his ex-wife?
Okay, this next song is lighter, and I picked it for the Halloween show because it kind of embodies what Halloween is to me, which is playfully, goofily scary. I don't like real hard scares, so this is kind of reminiscent of Benny Hill. It's kind of goofy, it's mildly spooky, but mostly it's fun, which is how I envision Halloween when I think of it. It's Attics by Attics with a T, as in the top of a house, not attics, by Ralph Band from 2008. Here we go. I've copied it this time. All right, that was Attics by Ralph Band, which is the encompassing name that the lead of the act, Ollie Ralph, goes by. Let's see. Let's start with Princeton this time, I guess. What did you think?
Super bouncy. I just did a quick look at it. It looks like it might be from a background music to a movie. Is that right?
Possibly. If so, I've not seen the movie. A friend showed it to me several years ago. Is how I know of it. But yeah, I could picture it in a movie. Like I said, it puts me in the mind of kind of the Benny Hill. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Yakety Sax.
Yeah, Yakety Sax.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyable. It's the movie. It's called Bunny in the Bowl. It's the same guy who does Mighty Boosh with Noel Fielding, the guy from what's it called, Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, he was in a couple of episodes of that. The Ollie Ralph guy. He was in the Old Greg episode. In fact, I'm not sure if he was Old Greg. I've not seen the Mighty Boosh in a very long
I
time.
have not seen it at all. I just know it by reputation and know Noel Fielding a little. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's very circusy. It definitely is right up my alley, and you might like one or two of the other groups I'm going to be mentioning later on today too. So, pass it on.
Coolio. All right, Billy, what did you think?
I don't want to be. It wasn't for me personally. I don't want to be too harsh because there's really not much I can say. But it was very bouncy. It was very energetic and fun. But I felt like I don't have to have like singing in every song, but I felt like I wanted more from it, at least more substance, at least other things happening in the song. I guess this is just something that I can definitely listen to and know, like, I could see how others would enjoy this, but I personally wouldn't be able to listen to this even if I was doing something else. I'd probably realize after 2 minutes that this was playing and then say, wow, I'm going to listen to something else actually. So, I don't want it to seem like I'm shitting on this song, but not for me personally.
Well, you've totally broken my heart. No, that's fine. Yeah, it is pretty repetitive, but I mean, it hooks me enough. So yeah, that's totally fine. I can definitely understand thinking that because I mean, it objectively is that. So yeah, fair enough. And Laz, what did you think?
Well, I don't generally think of ascending chromatic scaling while I think of Halloween music. It definitely had a bit of an ominous vibe to it. But yeah, this is definitely the sort of thing that I can vibe to any day. I enjoyed it. Apparently a lot more than Billy did, but that's okay.
Coolio.
All right, so this is Street Sex, and that's not sex, S-E-X, for you dirty fucks out there. That's S-E-C-T-S. This is an American experimental band. They were formed in Texas. I'm sorry, Fishy, but this is pretty abrasive. Industrial, kind of like screaming vibes. Though I think like there is plenty of not as harsh notes, at least to this track, and in some of their sections, they do find a good time to be loud and a good time to, also be on the quieter side of things. Maybe not quiet, but I think this is a very cool, interesting band. Let's see. I'm obviously going for the more louder, violent side of Halloween. And that's just you gotta have a couple demons and bad guys in there, and you gotta crush some mailboxes in there. That's part of the fun, isn't it? So without further ado, let's crush some. I should say that this one begins right away. So just be wary of that. I'm starting it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so that was Featherweight Hate by Street Sex. I definitely not as loud as some of their other songs, but I think that this song was more in line with our theme tonight, and I especially like this song is a little bit more, I guess, quieter to tell the story that he's aiming to tell on this one. If you're listening to the lyrics, it's definitely one of those kind of uh, Shyamalan twisty stories. Not really a Shyamalan twist, but um, where he's creating a character and setting a scene, and then the scene turns out to not be what you'd expect. All right. What did you think, Fishy?
Uh, Not really my thing, but I mean, I think it was pretty effective as a Halloween song. I'm definitely gonna re-listen to it, if only to get a clear grasp of the lyrics, because I was only getting bits and pieces, and especially with your addendum, it does sound like that. Understanding the lyrics might add to it. I will say that the baby in the middle, even if I couldn't really make out much of the lyrics, just having a baby shriek in the middle of all that cacophony certainly like instinctively raised the tension a little, I think. So that was an interesting choice, and I think they implemented that well insofar as it raised my heartbeat. It inspired a little primal worry, I guess. So not for me, but it works pretty good as a song to get you spooky for Halloween.
And aren't we feeling spooky? What did you think, Princeton?
It's really interesting. I haven't heard a lot like it, so they definitely got huge points for that. The way it kind of just jarringly explodes at the front and then just builds up. Do you know if this is part of like an ongoing like album long, master track prog thing, like Dream Theater, or more like this is a standalone track? Do you happen to know?
I would definitely say that it's not. I wouldn't say it's akin to Dream Theater, but I would say from the album itself that the songs do kind of flow into each other. But definitely, I when I wouldn't say I got Dream Theater vibes at all.
No, I meant more of like that abrupt crash at the beginning. Is that says? Do you happen to know if that flows into the previous song, that flows into the current one, and then crashes, or no? That's the song itself. It starts with a crash.
Yeah, that's the song itself.
Interesting. Well, to me, it kind of feels. Have you ever seen one of those cooking shows, and the chef messes up something, and they always put out the various ingredients on the plate and say it's deconstructed. It's a deconstructed hamburger. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and sometimes they actually intend to do it deconstructed. That felt like what this song felt like to me almost. Is like it had all of the normal things you have. You have it building, we have a big climatic ending. And then they put the ending first. So you have this interesting crash, and then it builds up afterwards, which is really kind of fascinating. The other thing that I found interesting is that it had that drum machine beat so fast, over and over and over, and you felt your heartbeat kind of pacing and almost distracted by it, to the point where you're too fast for your brain to kind of follow, and then you start listening to the smooth vocals. And the interesting thing is it kind of pushes through the other side, and that your brain just kind of focuses on the smooth vocals, and the pump, 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 pump almost becomes invisible behind it. So there's a lot of really interesting different layers depending on where you put your focus on there. It completely changes everything around. So I definitely think I don't think I can like it or hate it based on a single listing. There's a whole lot there going on, but no, it definitely feels kind of weird and jarring. And perfect for Halloween.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you felt like there was. I'm glad you felt all that was going on in that track. I think that this band itself does a really good job of that, and always bringing like new feelings and sounds to the table in that kind of manner. It's they can be very abrasive, but I think that's part of the allure for me. Um,
One criticism,
Yeah.
the end final build of escalation of machine noise and stuff like that, followed by just a drop and then random sound of speaking in the background, made me feel like I was in an airport and I had to go rush to find my gate.
Yeah, well, isn't that just a jump scare for you? You wake up and you're just at the airport and you're not able to catch your flight in time.
Oh God, I got 30 minutes to get through customs.
Good criticism though. Last but not last.
Yes, it's definitely the Jacques Tati of music. There's something new to notice after every listen. Yeah, it's funny at the beginning, like the harsh noise. I expected it to be more of like an industrial noise song, and then it just sort of like flowed pretty seamlessly, I'd say, into more industrial rock. Which I can't really complain. It's good, and like some people who have been on this podcast, I would like to see them live.
Well, I would like to see them dead.
Well, we'll see everyone dead eventually.
Give me Spider-Man's head.
Spider, we love you, Spider.
Spider-Man, Triple Action Web Blaster.
Sold separately.
All right, let's hear it, Princeton.
All right, second one. I will have a 5-point essay this time. No, this one's easier. It's not rockabilly or goth, so I thought I'd change up a little bit. This is an eerie little song by a group called Charming Disaster. You might have heard one of their songs, Ghost Story on Welcome to Night Vale. They do most of their songs in this kind of slightly creepy cabaret style, but they actually have a really wide range. For example, one of their songs is called Soft Apocalypse. It sounds more pop, like, Apples in Stereo or OK Go, while another song of theirs, Ragnarok, is clearly a tribute to Led Zeppelin. I get the impression that they really know their music theory, because sometimes they'll intentionally use dissonant harmonies just for effect. This is one of my favorite one of theirs. It's called Black Snake. And whenever I hear it, I personally get some haunting vibes in my head all day. So here we go. Black Snake by Charming Disaster.
My black snake and my donkey keep the predators at bay. The coyotes and the copperheads stay well enough away. The power that protects me is a circle made of salt. But when you come to get me, I won't feel a thing at all. The vultures that surround me ride the thermals up on high. Yeah, ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die.
The scarab on my pillow whispers vespers as I sleep. You saved me from the sparrows, now my soul is yours to keep. Come morning we awaken to a garnet-colored sky. The mirror cracked and broken, making X's of my eyes. Can't turn away the darkness, so instead I hold you tight.
Yeah, ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die. Light the fire, sing the song. Hit the hi-hat, kick the drum. Secret language on the tongue. Something wicked this way comes. There's a light without any heat. It shines just for me, my love. Shines just for me. There's a night without a moon. It comes just for you, my love. Comes just for you.
There's a
Black snake and my donkey keep the predators at bay. The coyotes and the copperheads stay well enough away. The power that protects me is a circle made of salt. But when you come to get me, I won't feel a thing at all. The scarab on my pillow whispers vespers as I sleep. You save me from the sparrows, now my soul is yours to keep. Come morning, we awaken to a garnet-colored sky. The mirror cracked and broken, making X's of my eyes. Light your fire and sing the song. Hit the hi-hat, kick the drum. Secret language on the tongue. Something wicked this way comes. Heat haze on the highway, there's a shimmer in the air. Out on the horizon, there's a figure standing there. Strange hallucinations as the sky is growing thin. From the corners of my vision, see the shadows closing in. Is it just sleep deprivation or the ergot on the ride? Yeah, ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die. Ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die. Ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die. Ever since you found me, I'm afraid that I might die.
All right, that was Black Snake by Charming Disaster. All right, and so I think I'll pick on Billy this time first. When you're ready, tell me if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty good song. I liked their singing performances. They really were really good just singing. I've said this before, but I really like their just singing at the same time too. It created that they created that like kind of feeling that I think you were picked this song for. Just that like that eerie but kind of discontent feeling that they were just both singing at that same time and both just not in complete harmony with each
You're
other.
talking
But
about the counterpoint?
just in general, what? Yes.
Yes, I think so. No, I like that too.
I've killed
Yeah, they this one does a lot of counterpoint and harmony, but there's also a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Unison singing. And when they're singing the same register together, it feels there's this lot of empty space to fill.
Yeah, I wish I could encompass it better with my words, but
No, thank
all
you.
in all, I
You're
really
great with
liked
your
it.
words.
Good pick.
Let's hear it from Fishy next. When you're ready.
Thank you.
Yeah, I largely agree with Billy. When it first started out with just a female lead singer, I thought this might be a little too cabaret, too sultry and silky for my taste for Halloween. But when the guy came in, it definitely did take on a whole other kind of intonation to me. It felt like the pace picked up and everything got a lot more threatening. First 30 seconds or so, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel, but as the song went on, I got more and more into it. So yeah, I think overall it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Great. Laz, anything to add?
Sure. I really liked the line, is it just the sleep deprivation or the ergot in the rye? For those of you not in the know, ergot was a fungus that used to grow in wheat, especially rampant during the Middle Ages, and if you ate it, it gave like a hallucinatory effect. Not dissimilar to LSD, because the active ingredient in the ergot was the lysergia, like the lysergic acid diethylamide, which is LSD. I'm an insufferable nerd. But yeah.
Well, you cut that line. I didn't. So well done to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think you might like their stuff. It's pretty nerdy. Their latest album is entirely just a tribute to to Mary Curie, our Lady of Blessed Radium.
Yes, I would. I'd like that. Yeah. But yeah, I like the song. I like Billy said, I like the use of the harmonies and the counterpoint. Yeah, it's a good track. It is very creepy. And it's a good Halloween pick.
I'm glad I fit the bill. All right. What's next?
All right. Or should you say who's next? Because this is going to be a song by The Who. No, I'm kidding. It's not.
I've never heard of The Whom.
This really.
So we got bonus round here?
They're this really obscure band from the 60s and 70s. Yeah, this is our bonus round for Halloween. We got a little treat for you. We're all going to do one song more each.
Bonus round. Round 3, fight.
All right, my next song is going to be Underground by Sempra, spelled SXMPRA. And this is a rapper who started off on SoundCloud, but now he's starting to get pretty big. So yeah, let's listen to this song.
But you knew him before he was big, of course, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but not in the intentional hipster way, I assure you. All right, that was Underground by Sempra. What did you think of that, Fishy?
Liked it quite a bit. It's the kind of thing my buddy used to have a car that, removed the trunk and put in a bunch of speakers, and it's the kind of thing that would be real fun to listen to in that old piece of shit. I could feel it shaking me on my cheap headphones. I'd love to hear that in a stereo souped up car. But yeah,
It's pop the
certainly,
car in neutral, just coast, half the block with it, just the speaker power alone.
yeah, that's the kind of music that he would wait till 3 a.m. and then drive around the neighborhood with, because he's a fucking asshole. But it would be fun to listen to, especially on Halloween. That could get you pumped up, I think. I'd definitely go trick-or-treating after listening to that. It was fun. I liked it.
All right, yeah. That's an interesting anecdote, yeah. This is Princeton.
I like it. It's interesting because this is the first horror-ish hip hop rap artist I've heard in a long time, since the post dubstep days. So I'm hearing a lot of that, modern dubstep rap that you hear a lot more of these days, which is great. I'm just not familiar with it. It's really interesting. I kind of wish I could actually hear the lyrics a little bit better, because I get the feeling that Semper has got a great sense of flow. It's interesting that different rap artists, you probably know, have different rhythmic patterns like doing it. And this particular trap, his was very syncopated, almost iambic, which of course feels like a heartbeat, which kind of gets that tense feeling as it goes along, which is kind of cool. If someone wants some old school stuff, if some of these listeners out there and they want old school things, the only thing I can recommend is Gravediggers. If you ever heard their stuff, they get stuff real intense and real edgy and violent, but is kind of the next level up from this.
All right, yeah, that's a good choice. Billy.
I think Fishy really recontextualized this track for me. I wasn't enjoying it so much until he had his commentary, and he gave me that image of what he would do with his friend, and it really put me in the perspective of doing the same thing with my friends that I've done before. We would. I had a good friend in college who had a BMW, and he would just blast these kind of loud hip hop songs where all you can really hear is the bass, and it's like just thumping in your ear. And it really, when he said that, it really put me in those like midnight rides that we would do, and I could definitely enjoy this, like pumped up, not being able to hear anything else, but just everything blaring into my ears. Um, in in that sort of context, I can definitely see its appeal. Here, I was hoping, especially as a Halloween track, that it would lead more into that Halloween theme. For me, it wasn't um, leaning into that theme enough, at least. But I definitely think that for that context that Fishy was talking about,
I
this is a
think
great
to
track.
counter that, I didn't even consider that, because we sit here and we often listen to a song and pick apart this part and that part, and sometimes you just, it as a whole, you just gotta feel it, really.
Yeah, for sure. And it might not be like this might not be the best moment to feel that, but there's context in which a song might work and context in which a song might not
Yeah,
work.
that makes sense to
For you
me. I mean,
personally.
like, if I had never had that experience, this probably wouldn't be the kind of thing I listened to. But that memory only came to mind when I realized my body was kind of like going back into that instinctual state where the whole fucking car is shaking you. So I kind of caught my legs shaking, and yeah, Yeah. Oh, I've lost my train of thought.
Well, it's like
Well-
a great man once said, "My body is a cage, but my mind holds the key."
Abraham Lincoln?
He said, "Great man."
Oh man.
Your mom?
That was a joke. Abraham Lincoln. was a
Cyborg
great
Abraham
president.
Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln, vampire hunter.
Yeah.
Adam.
Okay. Great. Fishy, what do you got?
I was conflicted, but I think I've settled on a song called "I'm a Stranger Here" by the Five-Man Electrical Band from 2009. It's from the point of view of an alien coming to visit Earth and realizing that there's not much here for an advanced species, and I personally can't think of much that's more frightening than cosmic rejection on that scale, so I think it fits with Halloween. And it also has an undercurrent of nuclear fear in it, so yeah, I think that's pretty scary. Okay, now I've got it typed out. It's "I'm a Stranger Here" by the Five-Man Electric Band.
I'm a stranger here in this place called Earth, and I was sent down here to discover the worth of your little blue planet, third from the sun. Come on and show me what you've done. We got the aeroplane, we got the automobile, we got the skyscraping buildings made of glass and steel. We got the synthetic food that nearly tastes real, and a little white pill that makes you feel a whole lot better when you get out of bed. You take one in the morning for the long day ahead. We got everything everybody needs to survive. Surely the good life has arrived. I think your atmosphere is hurting my eyes, and your concrete mountains are blacking out the skies. Now I don't say that you've been telling me lies, but why do I hear those children's cries? I'm a stranger here, I'm just looking around. I see the aeroplanes carrying the bombs. Why you even found people to drop them on? You know you can't keep what you take by force, but it's only my first impression, of course. I'm a stranger here on your planet Earth. We got the rivers and the mountains and the valleys and the trees. We got the birds in the sky. We got the fish in the sea. We got the oh, you crazy fools! Don't you know you had it made? You were living in paradise, but take it from one who knows the gates of heaven can close. I only pray that you take my advice, 'cause paradise won't come twice. Well, I'm a stranger here in this place called Earth, and I was sent down here to discover the worth of your little blue planet, third from the sun. I think I'll go back home where I come from.
right. That was I'm a Stranger Here by the Five Man Electrical Band. And I know especially the chorus is pretty peppy for a Halloween song, but the entire first verse is about how everyone on the planet's fucking doped out of their mind. So I was conflicted, but I thought that the upbeat tempo and the cheery tone they answer in, just being a mask that they're wearing over horrible drug addiction to not feel miserable, I thought that was pretty Halloweeny, along with the whole cosmic unworthiness and rejection by superior beings. What did you think, Princeton?
That's interesting. I have not heard that one. I'm not going to say it's going to be my top 10. It has some interesting elements in there. You got the nice boogie woogie beat. You got the fun imagery. The problem with me is that I'm not a huge fan of unison singing unless it's, or should I say grand choral singing like that, unless it's to a point. It kind of, when you have too many singers at the same time, it kind of gets some kind of Partridge Family, Main Street Singers kind of feel to it. It felt like it was somewhere in between where it wanted to be. If it focused on the boogie woogie, you could have had something kind of dark and creepier, like, I'm the boogeyman. If it focused a little bit more on the sci-fi imagery, you might have had something like, in the year 2525. And it kind of hits somewhere it could have been something kind of cute and folksy. But I think it hit in the middle. So that's my thought.
That's fair. I mean, you like what you like. I will say that specifically for this, I think the overcrowded chorus can I mean, like I said, you like what you like. I'm not saying you're wrong, but to my mind, because I'm often similar about how big you get your chorus, but the fact that it's meant to be, the population of the planet kind of mitigates it in this one instance for me, if that makes sense. But I can totally understand just not liking that busy of a chorus on principle. That's fair. Billy, what did you think?
I'm gonna be agreeing with Princeton on this one. I definitely wasn't really enjoying the first half of this song. However, when it was getting close to its close, they deviated from like the regular like verses style that they were doing. And at the end of that one chorus, the verse took like a different kind of instrumental approach, and I think that the song kind of became its own thing, and I enjoyed it a lot more. Instead of the other instruments and sound that I've been hearing before, I think that was like that kind of low point that the song was trying to exaggerate, and I really liked that part of the song. I thought they did a really good job of emphasizing and getting to that closing point. I really just wasn't feeling it at the other points of the song and at the chorus. I just, I wish that I was able to really feel the elements that you were talking about, like, because conceptually, this is a very interesting song about like those ideas, and I think especially for Halloween, you're looking at that kind of cosmic existentialism and that like that horror of just the doped out like mindless zombie people and being rejected cosmically. I think that's such a cool concept for a twist on that kind of Halloween thing. And I love like those kind of like twists. Like I love it. I'm only thinking of Gremlins because we watched Gremlins yesterday. But like that kind of twist on Christmas where it's not like just all happy and fun and presents, but horrible stuff happens on Christmas. People get so depressed on that time of year, and I like that kind of that twist on like Halloween, where it's not always going to just be, scary, spooky skeletons. Like, it could definitely be us being rejected or it could be us just mindless zomboids because we're all afflicted with pain and we're all just doing drugs to make ourselves happier. And under that guise of trying to be happier with dressing in costumes and everything, and trying to compensate it with those kind of traditions, but still being completely unhappy. I wish that this track could encompass that a little bit more. Maybe that's too much to ask for, but I didn't.
That's totally
feel
fair.
it
I'm glad that you got at least why I picked it conceptually for Halloween. I'm glad that wasn't just solely in my head, that I was able to express it enough. And about that, the last chorus and then it kind of switches. I think that's, like you were saying, it kind of changes the song a little. Like I said, I was between this and another song, and that was what really sealed it for me when I was making the decision. That twist at the end where it kind of goes off script, I thought it was just the right little kick, and I am glad I picked this one instead of the alternate I was considering, because that was just a 4-minute theme song for a scary thing, so it wasn't exactly conceptually heavy. I'm glad I managed to get one conceptual existential horror thing in, I guess I mean to say. And Laz, what did you think?
I liked the track. I did think it was. I thought it was spooky. I thought it had an. I liked the deluge of voices and the the distorted synth effects. I I thought it was a pretty good track. Um, all right, Billy, what did you bring next?
I liked your first opinion
Yeah, well,
more
that's
than your
interesting.
second
Fuck you.
opinion. It really makes me think. So this is Parenthetical Girls. They are a experimental pop band. They disbanded recently. I think they've disbanded multiple times. They have always had kind of a revolving door of guests. Pretty sure this is just off the cuff. I'm pretty sure that they had one of the members of Deerhoof was in this band. They've worked with and recorded with Shoo Shoo. So I actually found them through Shoo Shoo, and I'll be bringing a little bit of Shoo Shoo in probably another episode, because I like them a lot. But I think that this kind of similar discordant kind of noisy pop, this kind of alternate take on pop that like Shoo Shoo can bring is very fun, and the reason why I got interested in this band in the first place. This song is a cover of Handsome Devil by the Smiths. So this is Handsome Devil by Parenthetical Girls.
All the streets are crammed with pain. And I know a place where no one is likely to pass, and you don't care if it's late, and you don't care if you're lost. And though you don't agree, well, you don't refuse. If it's the last thing that I ever do, I'm gonna get you. You handsome devil, let me get my hands on your memory glands, and let me get your head in a conjugal bed. I said, there's more to life than books, you know, but not much more. Oh, there's more to life than books, you know, but not much more. Not much more. Oh, you handsome devil. Oh, you handsome devil.
So that was A Handsome Devil by Parenthetical Girls. What did you
I think I
think,
prefer the
Laz?
band That Handsome Devil. No, it's yeah, it was I liked how it was occasionally bombastic but smooth throughout.
Yeah, honestly, good point. Yeah, I totally agree.
I thought it was pretty good. It's
What'd you think, Fishy?
very difficult for me to fuck up a Smith song. So, I mean, I don't have much memory of this particular song, the Smiths version, but I will say that I was impressed by how well she was able to pull off that Morrissey warble kind of thing, where the voice fade in and out. I feel like that disencourages a lot of people from even trying to cover the Smiths, and just for going for it and pulling it off pretty well, I give it extra points. I thought it was pretty good.
Nice. And last but not least, or least,
Thanks.
but also
Thanks.
last,
I'm leaving.
Princeton.
No, to be honest, I actually don't know the original, so it's just like before. I'm curious to see how the original compares to this one, but I'm afraid I don't know it. I just heard it for just a few seconds here while other people are talking, and it sounds, I don't know the Smiths, but it sounds at first glance a bit Joy Division-y kind of 80s pop punk. So this is a really huge contrast. So I found the piano particularly interesting. You had again this kind of ding 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 constant piece playing all the way through it. It reminds me a little bit of John Carpenter's soundtrack from Halloween. Ding 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 ding. And they have the wonderful crash of the piano partway through, which feels very melodramatic but perfectly on point. So I really enjoy that. So I'm gonna have to check that one out again later on to pick it apart a little bit more.
Awesome. All right. Good points overall. Glad you guys were able to enjoy it or find something to enjoy about it.
Incidentally, the tritone, also known as the Devil's Interval, was never a death sentence. No one was ever put to death for this. We did have one track tonight that had a tritone in it, and it was actually Princeton's last track. So, Princeton, please present your next track.
Does that mean I'm going to be not put to death?
Yeah, don't die tonight.
Okay. I'll try. So I didn't prep an intro, so I'll try to be quick. This is a really weird group called the Tiger Lilies. And they kind of do super weird burlesque cabaret style music. I thought I'd go from light cabaret to full cabaret and out weirdo out the other side. And they do a whole lot of different stuff on life and death and Victorians and prostitutes, but they also do some musicals. One of which they did in the late 90s based on Schackheaded Peter, or Strud Peter, a children's book. Because Dr. Hoffman in the late 1800s said, no, we shouldn't beat our children to get them to act correct. That would be cruel. Instead, let us give them little picture books, which involve things like children who play with matches getting burned to death, and little Frederick who flies his kite and gets blown away by the wind and never to be seen again. And that way we'll just traumatize them into being good. And they took this as the wonderful fodder for a musical. And this is the song called Snip Snip, about Conrad who sucks his thumbs.
Conrad's mother said, Conrad dear, I must go out and leave you here. But mind now, Conrad, what I say. Don't suck your thumbs while I'm away. That great tall tailor, he always comes for naughty boys who suck their thumbs, and ere they wonder what he's about, he's got his great long scissors out. Snip, snip, the scissors go, and Conrad cries out, oh! Snip, snip, they go so fast, and Conrad's thumbs are off at last. Well, Mama had scarcely turned her back when the thumbs were in alack, alack. The door burst open and in he ran, that great long-legged scissor man. Snip, snip, the scissors go, and Conrad cries out, oh! Snip, snip, they go so fast, and Conrad's thumbs are off at last. Well, Mama comes home, there Conrad stands. He looks quite sad as he shows his hands. Ha ha, said Mama, I knew he'd come. For naughty little suck a thumb. Snip, snip, the scissors go. Conrad cries out, oh, oh, oh. Snip, snip, they go so fast, and Conrad breathes his last. Snip, snip, the scissors go, and Conrad cries out, oh, snip, snip, they go so fast, and Conrad bleeds to death. Death at last.
So that was Snip Snip by the Tiger Lilies. I'm gonna pick on Laz first this time, when he has recovered.
Well, I have to say that I was living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Aren't we all?
And I will not explain the reference. If you don't get it, you're not millennial enough to have seen the pilot episode of SpongeBob or have been been alive in the 60s. Either way, very unfortunate.
I need him.
Yeah.
It's funny because you explain it. Thank you.
Yeah, I made it so funny by explaining it.
Chase. Yeah, there's a little Tiny Tim in his strange, weird falsetto singing.
I feel like it was intentional. And it definitely adds to the creepiness of the lyrics. But yeah, that's what I got. Those are my
Cool.
notes.
All right, Fishy, anything?
Yeah, I have pretty similar notes. I think it was fun, like really fun. It kind of put me in the mind of purposefully cheesy and over the top horror movies, kind of like The Purge and Lederhosen. I felt like, because it was so, like pastoral German backing and such a very European matriarch way of handling a situation, of cutting off naughty boys' thumbs. So yeah, thought it was pretty fun. I could definitely see it in a movie. I know that that horrible horror movie Insidious used Tiny Tim, and one of the movies in that series used Tiny Tim in the climax, and it was somehow horrifying. And with the similarities, I think it could work in a similar context. So yeah.
Oh, that's
cool.
brilliant. I could definitely see. I mean, they've run out of all. They've done every other Purge movie, so I could definitely see Purge and Lederhosen coming next.
Hell yeah.
All right, Billy, anything to wrap it up?
Fishy pretty much summed it up pretty well to me. I think that this was like definitely a great pick for encompassing that that like kind of sillier like jaunty horror track that you'd hear, like the Frankenstein kind of thing that you might hear while you're waiting in the carnival and walking around. I definitely liked that the lyrics were just were as like went as dark as they went, and I like how Conrad died at the end. And I didn't expect it to go that far, especially with how silly, uh, lighthearted it kept bouncing back. But I think it was a pretty good for what it was. It's very fun.
Well, thank you. I hope it did the spirit of Halloween
Conrad's
justice.
gonna go fuck me in my sleep.
I'm super spooked.
Or the Big Tall Tailor, one or the other. So, Laz, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many nightmares are you having tonight after this whole show?
I might have 4, but I will probably only remember 1, and it's one where I'm chased through the vents by a maniac demon clown.
Well, at least
Yeah.
it's the good one.
And then at some point I just get exhausted and I crumple up into a heap in the middle of the pipe, and the demon clown gets really close to me, and I'm like trying to be totally silent. I'm playing dead at this point, but he hears me breathing. But when he hears, in response to my breathing, he says, "Why are you crying?" And then I wake up.
Yep. You wake up before the skeleton man grabs
Yeah.
you, and then the parenthetical girls drop a piano on you.
All right, that was our Halloween episode of the Music Smoothie. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we got those bits of pumpkins all blended up nice for you. There's no seeds left in there, and we poured it straight into your ear canal. And there's some music mixed in, and hopefully it blended nice and smooth for you, and everyone got something nice out of that. I feel like we had a great mix tonight of songs and genres, and I definitely had a good time. If you guys did.
Yeah, I had a time.
I had a great time.
course, of course. Oh, and
Me too. Thanks again for having me.
Princeton, was there something you wanted to plug?
Oh yes, thank you. Princeton Vice is also the name I use for hosting horror shows. So if you like creepy Halloween stuff, please check out Princeton Vice Presents. I've got such films in there as the old silent film of a version of Frankenstein. We've got Vincent Price, my inspiration for Princeton Vice, doing Last Man on Earth, Curse of the Raidens, and hopefully I'm going to be doing Faust soon.
All right, very cool. Oh, sorry.
So, no, that's it. And yeah, Facebook,
all right,
Twitter.
Very cool, very cool. I guess that's it. Have a good one, guys, and remember to bury your fucking dead. Whatever.
Or recycle.
First.
Wouldn't that be composting?
Yeah, you can burn corpses as long as you don't do it in front of my house. I get hungry.
Someone's got to eat.
All right, guys, that's the show. Remember to subscribe to us on your podcast provider of choice. And if you like what we do and you'd like us to record more frequently and consistently, please consider donating to us on Patreon. And if you want to, email us anything like song picks or, any opinions, comments, questions, concerns, our email is themusicsmoothie@gmail.com. And all of our music is fair use under the media criticism clause of fair use. And I hope you guys have a great whatever day, morning, evening, late at night, 3 a.m. and you feel like you're about to die, but this is the only thing keeping you sane. Okay, have a good one.
Sky swing, mother is not why when I was